Minecraft 1.10, the Frostburn update. This is an update that was fairly small and it only introduced a handful of features. Now, in my opinion, this is a very underrated update because, for one, it didn't introduce a whole lot of things inside the game, which only gave us polar bears, igloos, magma blocks, bone blocks, fossils, strays. There is also husks, netherworld blocks, structure blocks, and red nether brick blocks. Now we're going to begin with the wintry parts of the update, which is all about the polar bears and the strays in the igloos. Now way over here we ourselves an igloo. Now igloos, they are a very useful feature inside the game because if you come inside of here, then you have yourself a chance of finding a trap door, and this trap door will lead you way down inside the basement. Now not every single igloo is going to have this basement, only certain ones. But you get yourself a villager to begin with, and you also get yourself a zombie villager that you can fix up. It's actually pretty cool. Now if you look inside the chest, you can find yourself the golden apple, and the golden apple is not for you. Well, I guess it can be for you if you really want it to be, but please, cure the zombie villager for goodness sake. They deserve it a lot more than you. Nobody deserves to become a zombie. Not even villagers. You know what? Hashtag villager lives matter. You can also find a brewing station which will give you a splash potion weakness that you can use on the zombie villager with the golden apple. And then voila, you've got yourself a regular villager. How about that, buddy? You have yourself a brother in no time. Now in terms of mobs, there are only 3 mobs on this update. And the first mob was the polar bear. Now the polar bear, this was a fairly cool mob whenever it was first introduced. It was added to the game because, for one, Jeb's wife loved polar bears. But polar bears, they are a very cool mob inside the game. But the thing is, whenever you end up finding them, they can be either nice or they can be mean. Now if they're mean, the only way that they can be mean to you is if they have a baby nearby. So if there's a baby polar bear cub nearby, then this mob, he's not going to become very nice. And he's just going to come right after you. He's going to go ahead and swat at you. And it's not a very good time at all. So please, just trust me on that. So then for the other mob, we have the stray. Now the stray, in terms of being a mob, it's just a retextured skeleton, which is a really cool outfit. And in 1.17, if a skeleton is in powdered snow for way too long, then it will start to freeze and it will become a stray. Whenever it freezes in powdered snow, where does the stray get the outfit from? Like seriously, the stray has the outfit on whenever it becomes from a skeleton. Like whenever a skeleton becomes a stray, it should just be like a frozen skeleton, but without the stray outfit. Like that's what I think it should be. And now in terms of blocks, and then if you go over to the deserts, you can find yourself the new husk mob, which is basically a zombie, but however it will give you hunger whenever it attacks you. So you gotta be very careful about that, and make sure you bring plenty of food, or else you end up starving. It's gonna be your downfall. Now in terms of blocks, there are only 4 blocks introduced. So we have the bone blocks, which make up the fossils that you can find in swamps and deserts. But however, there's also another block introduced, and that was the magma block. Now the magma block is a very hurtful block. If you stand on it, then you will take damage. But at the time whenever it was introduced, this was revolutionary for traps, because a lot of people were using this to end up like burning the mobs, make them take damage, and then they were utilizing this inside their own mob farms. And so that was actually a very good block for that. And magma blocks, at first they can only generate inside the nether, but then in a feature update in 1.13, they were introduced within the ocean biomes, so they can now generate alongside obsidian that's at the very bottom of water ravines. But then we have the bone block, which as I mentioned earlier, this makes up obtaining these. And if you get 9 bone meal, you can turn those into 1 bone block. And then you can turn that bone block back into 9 bone meal. There were also 2 other blocks introduced, which was the netherworld block, and now we have a blue netherworld block since 1.16. You can craft this block by using 9 netherwort. But then we have the other block, which is the red nether brick. Now unlike the other nether brick, this block cannot be found anywhere in the nether. Instead, you have to craft it yourself by combining 2 netherwort together and then 2 nether brick, and then you get this block as the outcome. And in my own opinion, I think that this is a really cool looking block, but I would really love to see a structure built out of this somewhere inside the nether. So why can't you find this anywhere inside the nether, but you can find any other block? I mean, seriously? This is like the only block that you cannot find in the nether as of now. But not only that, but we also got ourselves walls. We got, oh my goodness, not only that, but there's also walls, stairs, and slabs. And still a really cool looking block. But this update also gave us one of the biggest game changers in a very long time, and that is the structure block. Now the structure block is basically used to go ahead and save different structures. So if I click on save on the structure, then I can simply click on load and then click load. And wherever the structure block is, it's going to load it on structure, and I absolutely love that quite a bit. It's a very useful block, and I don't really know where map making would be without it. And that's basically it for everything that this update did introduce. So yep, in terms of 1.10, this was a very small update. This is a very underrated update. A lot of people just look at it and they don't really think of very much of it. And when some people think about updates, they really forget about the 1.10 update. Whenever I think about different Minecraft updates, I always almost forget about 1.10 because it's not a very big update. Now with that being said, I do want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments on what you think of this. Do you think 1.10 was an underrated update? And are you a fan of 1.10? If you enjoyed this video, then please consider leaving a like on it and subscribe if you're new around here. And don't forget to turn notifications on. And for now, hope you have a logical day, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.